camera now.
Same.
Yo! I should have never yelled that.
You really should. That was loud as ever.
It's because I leaned into the mic while doing it. But what it do, homies? Yeah, welcome to episode 2 of Pirate Talk, matey. I'm Monkey D. Hokage, and I'm here with my right-hand man, Pirate Hunter HV Nimbus.
Oh my gosh. Yo, what it do?
What?
I'll be honest.
If
we gonna be in the One Piece universe,
yeah,
I'm gonna have to have a double fruit because I don't know how to swim.
I mean, just to be fair, even before Luffy ate his devil fruit, he couldn't swim anyway.
No, I thought he was the best swimmer. That's what he was bragging about as a kid, right?
I thought he was shitty as a swimmer.
I was pretty sure he was bragging that he was like, I could be a pirate. I'm the best swimmer or whatever. And then Shanks was like teasing him or something like that. Okay, like just being a swimmer doesn't mean you could be a pirate.
This is a small thing that I didn't even notice until now, but the chapter 1, Shanks was laughing at Luffy because he could not swim.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it was because he just couldn't swim.
I could have sworn he could swim, and he was laughing at him because he couldn't, because that's not all you have to do to be a pirate. Okay, I must have got that mixed up with something else then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. So let me pull this up here. Is it on this side? Yeah, it's on this side. Perfect. So, oh gosh, that was an ugly ass cough, man. No, bleep that out. Wait, what do you see? He says live implies he could. Yeah, no, so yeah, there it is. So Shadow over here. Shout out to him. Thanks for coming back to the stream, dog. Shadow over here, he said that it was actually Buggy that was a good swimmer until he lost it.
Oh, okay. I've definitely got that mixed up.
Yeah, Buggy was a good swimmer, then he ate the devil fruit and he couldn't swim. So I do remember that.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah, speaking of Buggy, yeah, we're about to go talk about episode 2, y'all. So, episode 2, titled of the One Piece live action, is The Man in the Straw Hat, which, in this episode, they do talk about the Straw Hat a lot. And, particularly through Luffy's flashbacks and some little interactions in present day. Yeah, we talking about the myth, the legend, Buggy D. Clown, because you know he's a Willa D member.
Okay.
Where's Buggy at? That's why I put Buddy instead of Buggy. There we go. And speaking of which, because I actually rewatched the episode before we even start, like before I even hopped on Discord with you, and I'm gonna get to it in a second. But yeah, the episode 2 title is the Man in the Straw Hat, where we talk about, you know, it implies Luffy's treasure in a way. That's not what he's going after, but something that he holds near and dear to him, which is the Straw Hat itself. Speaking of which,
you gonna pull out your straw hat?
Hell yeah! There, I got my straw hat on. It looks so weird just sitting on my head like that, but I'm gonna keep it like that.
Yes, it does look weird.
I feel like I look like Erykah Badu. So yeah, oh wait, there we go. And the episode, you know, of course, opens up with a Luffy's flashback again, with but he's learning how to use his devil fruit power now, because you know, last episode we see Luffy eat his devil fruit in his flashback, the gum fruit, and he's already got his first named attack. He's trying to learn how to do the Gum Gum pistol, and he breaks Makono's chair in her bar. And I find it kind of interesting that they chose Makono to tell Luffy about the lore behind Devil Fruits instead of Shanks. So, do you think because she did that, she's going to kind of play like a bigger role in season 2?
She is supposed to be the mother figure
You're right.
for Luffy. Like the whole village, like it seemed like in the anime they looked out for him. But as far as in the live action, it seems like she's gonna be like the main mother figure or parental figure for him.
You're right.
So anytime they go back to like how they did for when he first got his bounty, it's gonna come back to her looking at the bounty. So anytime there's news about Luffy, they're always gonna come back to her.
So do you think that she's almost like an aunt? What's her name from Hunter x Hunter? Mito? Mito?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because that's the kind of vibe I got from her there. And yeah, so Blue Shadow says here again that he just checked the official manga translation, and Shanks calls Luffy the anchor because
Oh right.
Because he couldn't swim. Oh, thank you. Shout out to the encyclopedia over here of One Piece, man. You the goat for that one. And so, and then we finally see Shanks actually tells Luffy that he's officially leaving and not coming back. And I kind of had to sit there and think about it for a second. So like after Makono talks to Luffy about the Devil Fruit lore, he Shanks walks into the bar, and Shanks pretty much tells Luffy that he's leaving and not coming back. And Luffy asks him, "Are you going after the One Piece?" But I feel like this also kind of ties into something Bucky says later on in the episode, where you have to be like up to date with both the anime and the manga to understand who gave Shanks those scars and everything like that. But do you think he's going after Blackbeard? He just didn't mention it.
Shanks?
Yeah, because in the manga, he never really went after the One Piece until after he found out Luffy's made officially an emperor now.
Right.
And then in the live action, Shanks never directly told Luffy he's going after One Piece. All he did was just kind of say, like, Luffy said, "Are you going after One Piece?" And Shanks just like,
Oh, okay.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow said Buggy's description fits the Shanks we see in the execution. That see at the execution. It does, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But go ahead, B.
Oh, sorry, I was reading. But I don't see him going after, like right now. I don't see him going after Blackbeard. You know what I mean?
True.
It doesn't seem right, at least not for the time.
Mm-hmm. Like you just say, like he's just telling Luffy he's going after the One Piece just because they just kind of want to have to tell people, like just in case they don't get renewed for season 2, something like that. He just got let's just kind of speed this along just in case type situation.
I think so, or maybe there's something there that he just knows about that no one else does.
Yeah, Blackbeard.
I don't. Okay, whatever. I can't say anything else.
You're right. I'm trying to make sure this chat box is working correctly. I hope it is.
What's wrong?
Is my chat coming up on screen? Hold on. I'm gonna test this out.
Yeah, it's there.
Yep, it is. All right, cool. All right. Thank you.
It is just
That's
ridiculously fast.
that was like kind of one of my things I've been working on this whole time. Where did I leave off at? So yep, we see Shanks talking to Luffy, pretty much telling him, "Yeah, he's leaving. I'm not coming back. Later, kid." Ooh, so let me ask you this, because Shadow says Blackbeard will still be under Whitebeard, or like so he wouldn't be. Well, no, because even if Blackbeard was still working under Whitebeard, what is it? Shanks still had the scar either way. He just happened, like maybe he just happened to run into Blackbeard while Blackbeard was just off of Whitebeard's crew doing something else. But then he already had his, like he got the scars while Blackbeard was still under his crew, right? Under Whitebeard's crew, right?
Shanks fight Mihawk at some point.
Yeah. But I think it had to be around the time he had to, like, he fought Mihawk right before he lost his arm. Because that's the reason why Mihawk won't fight him anymore, because he doesn't have his arm anymore.
Uh,
Yeah, and Shanks always had, like, he had the scar when he met Luffy. Like, the whole time. So, even if Blackbeard was part of Whitebeard's crew, Shanks would have. Let's just say he didn't get the scar until after Blackbeard left the crew. That means Shanks never had the scar while he met Luffy, but he had the scar when he met Luffy. So that means Blackbeard is probably still part of Whitebeard's crew at some point. Like he's probably just. This is probably around the time right when he left. Yeah, because and here's why. Because Ace was already part of the crew, who was part of Whitebeard's crew. That's the key factor there.
Okay.
Blackbeard left the crew around the time Ace was part of the crew. So that's why Ace was after him the whole time. This is Kid Luffy here, so which means Blackbeard is still part of the crew, but yeah, Shanks still got the scar. Oh man, I'm a genius, man. I'm a genius. Even though it's thousands of people said it, but let's move on.
I'm so done.
So now we flash forward back to present day. We got the trio here of Luffy, Nami, and Zoro on the ship that Nami stole from the Buggy Pirates, and Luffy is excited because this is his first pirate steal. The best way he would describe it, his pirating career, like stealing a piece of treasure. And he's excited about it, and he's hopping around the ship while Nami's trying to crack open Captain Morgan's safe. And no lie, I think this is like the most brother and sister type thing ever. Let me see here. See if I get the perfect screenshot of it. But it's you know when Luffy put his head over top of Nami's head?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I ain't gonna lie, I got kind of like a brother and sister type vibe from it, like the brother annoying the sister.
That's why I feel like it's supposed to be like their relationship in, at least for the live action.
Even in the anime, it feels like, and in the manga, it kind of just feels like this is like they kind of have a brother sister type thing. I never really kind of look at them as a relationship type thing.
I think people only saw it that way because of how often Luffy has to save Nami.
True, but you won't do. I mean, you do that for your sibling as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Luffy say like he puts his head over Nami while Nami's trying to crack open Captain Morgan's safe here, and she knocks away Luffy's head, and this is when we get like the first idea of how important the Straw Hat is to Luffy. And
Right.
he tells Nami That's like, pretty much that's his treasure in a way. That's why he cares about it so much. And can we kind of no, we don't flash back into a little bit later on about the Straw Hat, but yeah, no, they pretty much describe. No, we see it. No, we see it in the very beginning. My bad, my bad, my bad. Ignore me. Ignore me. No, he didn't. Okay, because I'm also kind of reviewing it through on my side as well, like my Netflix here.
Okay.
But we get Nami talking to Luffy. Luffy's pretty much explained to Nami how much the Straw Hat is important to him. And Nami finally cracks open the safe, and we see a poster of Captain Captain of the Black Cats, Koros. How you say his name? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
That's right.
Say again.
That's right. Kuro.
Koro. Yep. Captain of he's like his crew's name is the Black Cats, right? Correct. Knew it. Let's go.
Wait.
Cool.
Yeah. Black Cat Pirates. Yeah.
Let's go. My Erica Badu style hat right now.
Oh my gosh.
I could probably be her son. So we see a glimpse of the poster. We also see the Grand Line map, and on top of that, we also see in the safe here. So I think there was. Oh, and it looks like his Captain Morgan's. Oh no! So yeah, cool. We got Koro's bounty poster of 16 million. We also got the Grand Line map, and then we also got the ID card for Baroque Works, which is a pretty nice little Easter eggs again. But I feel like that is still kind of setting up season 2, which we already talked about later on, like earlier this week, how the Baroque Works might just be season 2's main plot line.
Which they are, really.
Which I agree with you. It should be like pretty much the main thing there, because that's like Alabasta should be the main thing they focus on because they're already in the Grand Line. But how many episodes do you think season 2 should be? Like instead of 8, I think it should be 10, just to make sure like
I was
safely.
really just talking about that earlier. I said because I saw an article earlier saying that if it goes all the way to Alabasta, that's 6 whole arcs that they're going through.
Exactly.
And since they're going through that many, they're going to need a few more episodes to get that out, express what they need to express and for those arcs,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
because you talking about,
I said either 2 or 3 more episodes.
Because like because what happens in the Grand Line? It's
Logtown.
Yep, you got Logtown. You got me and Dorian Bragi. That was a few episodes there.
You got the Baroque Works. You got
Vivi. Like we need to meet Chopper.
That's Drum Island.
So yeah, like.
That's 3 of them right there.
Amani said at least 12 episodes as a minimum.
Okay, I guess so.
At least.
Maybe you.
Yeah. Laboon. Shadow said Laboon.
Oh yeah, Laboon.
So yeah, you meet Laboon and Crocus. So yeah, a lot happened. So yeah, actually, Amani 2 to 10. I'm going with 12. At least it has to at least be 12 episodes for season 2, just to kind of make sure.
Arcs. So 2 episodes a arc.
Yeah, because like what, East Blue wasn't that long. Like it was long enough to make it at least 8 episodes, because you can confine everything into certain things or take things out that wasn't really important to the main story.
Right.
But the Grand Line arcs, they like everything ties into one another, so they have to kind of fit everything in there. Shadow said if they include Logtown that got excluded, that's a tough script to write. But they can't get rid of Logtown though, because that's when you meet Dragon.
That's where Smoker gets introduced, and they already, they already.
Yep, they show Smoker at the end of season 1, so they have to introduce Smoker. So I don't think they can really cut Little Garden either, because Little Garden, that's when he meet Dorian Broggy, and that's where Usopp finds out his dream, like to become the bravest man on the sea. So
Uh,
he has to meet those two giants for his dream to come true. Like not
uh,
come true, but for him to figure out exactly what he want his main dream to be. So you can't really cut that either. So yeah. So they're gonna have to do the whole 12 episodes thing if they want to try and fit everything smoothly like how they did for the first season. But yeah, so let's move on for a little bit. Uh, Here's the one thing I think they did a good job on is Nami explaining the One Piece world to us. I'm gonna try and screenshot it real quick after she draws the map out. Move your hand, Nami. Dag.
oh my gosh. Well, Nami had to explain it to Luffy, which technically it explained it to an idiot. So that's perfect, you know?
Exactly, and I think the way how she did it too was like so perfect, and the map that she drew for it as well was actually like really dope. See if I can screenshot this. Got it. Did it work? There it is. Alright, so we got Nami's map here, which again she did a good job drawing it out. So in the One Piece world, we got the north, south, east, west blues, and then we got the large strip of land, which is the red line, and this single line right here is the Grand Line itself. So we got the red line and the Grand Line. And she said in the Grand Line is where you get the larger islands and the most piratey of all pirates that ever pirate out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like the way how she explained it because I've seen a lot of videos of people trying to explain the One Piece like world to people, and a lot of people explained it good, but the way how they explained it in a live action was literally to describe it to dummies. Was like you got north, south, east, west, one big ass island in the middle, one place where everything or all the pirates happen to pirate stuff at, and then that's where all the big bad guys are at. If you can survive here, you can survive anywhere. And I'm like, you know what? That's how you explain it.
Yeah, it was. They had to explain it, especially for since the live action had explained for anybody who actually didn't watch the anime.
Exactly.
So it had to be the easiest explanation they can give. Like if you're trying to explain history to people in to not people to children in school.
You know what I kind of liked about this one particular scene,
What?
and this is just from a personal thing. I love One Piece. One Piece is goated in my personal opinion, but to me, like I understand how big and vast the One Piece world is, but to me personally, it doesn't feel that big and it's just because it's just like how the anime and the manga is just how it's written, where it's like you just gotta jump from island to island as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Where able to actually see them like real life people on a ship, and then having the navigator explain this is how the world works in this area, like in certain areas, it made it feel a lot bigger. And honestly, it made it feel like it's bigger than our world.
That's true. It made it feel
Like
like it was a long cruise. Like if you went on a cruise from like California or Florida, and you somehow ended up in Japan by going uh
or the
west.
Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, like going west, like straight or is it Pacific or Atlantic? Whatever.
If you go over Pacific, you'll be there in a shorter time. You go over Atlantic, you're pretty much going through damn near every single last continent.
Okay, yeah. That's what it made it feel like. Like, okay, why is it taking so long to get around the world? And then you really gotta think about it. Because in our world, we even got the book and movie around the world in 80 days. There ain't no way One Piece is 80 days.
Exactly. But you know what it is though, and I just actually had to sit there and think about it. And I'll be honest with everybody here. I recently just I ain't gonna say recently just got into One Piece, but like I've always watched it back even when it was on 4Kids, but I never really truly followed it until like 2019-20 is when I actually like sat there and actually watched it. So I think it's because I had pretty much every episode at my disposal. I managed to catch up versus with people who actually like was staying with it from
Same.
when it first came out to where it's at now. So maybe that's just how I personally feel was like because I got everything in pretty much one big go at my disposal. It didn't feel as big, but that could just be me.
No, that's how I felt too. That's literally how I did it. I had like a multitude of episodes to watch, and I just binged it.
Exactly. So it's just all right. So I'm glad we're on that same boat there.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't gonna lie, in the scene here too, the scene actually made me feel because I really love Pirates of the Caribbean. One of my favorite movie properties out there. But this also kind of made me feel like this could be part of Pirates of the Caribbean in a way, which I'm kind of hoping. Knock on wood. Not saying Disney buys One Piece, but in the manga we get introduced to this particular character, but they never showed what he looks like. He just kind of came up in different like speech bubbles, but of the man marked by flames. And this is a YouTuber I watch, and he was like, he kind of put a kind of like a awesome, not like theory, but more so like his own personal headcanon. Whereas like he thought it would be dope if like Oda designs the man marked by flames if he designs him after Jack Sparrow. And I'm like that would be kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie, that would be dope. And then after he said that, I've been kind of, and then I saw like, and then after he said that, that was like a few months ago. I saw that episode, like not episode, but video. And then with coming back to how Nami's explained the One Piece world, I was like, this kind of feels like Pirates of the Caribbean type feeling too,
Mm-hmm.
like very piratey.
And that's what I felt like when it first started, when the execution scene, Roger.
Like it felt very piratey, right?
It felt like watching Jack Sparrow's execution, and I was just waiting for like some type of mess to happen.
We need, what's his name? Not Jack Sparrow. Wow, I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Jack Sparrow's real name,
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know how I feel like I'm about to get roasted for that.
Yeah, everything that happened in court.
No, true.
Mm.
But I feel like again, I have to agree with the guy. Oda has to at least design some character, like at least one character off of Pirates of the Caribbean. And then on top of that, I feel like if the live action does well enough, Johnny Depp has to show up somewhere somehow. Even just like with a little cameo, like, hey, there go Johnny Depp. He just happens to look like,
What if he's one of the What if he ends up being like an old pirate?
I'm okay with that.
Like like what if they made Johnny Depp be like one of the old legendary pirates? So they're like legendary enough where you can't actually see him in like anything, but his picture is like everywhere, or like somebody will have a flashback and see his face, like rocks.
I'm completely okay with that.
So if you saw Johnny Depp as rocks, you would be okay.
I'll be okay with it
Okay.
because and here's why. Because Rox is a Willa D member, right? Sorry for a little tangent. This is spoilers if you guys are not caught up with the manga or anime. But I feel like because you know the Willa D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who have the initial D in their name, they always have a tendency of being like really, really goofy, even like in their own way.
That's, you know what? I didn't actually think about it, but that's kind of true. I was gonna say law, but I don't think law actually counts.
Law is goofy and like Like and like he's always constantly annoyed in some type of way.
They ends up
But
giving
this,
in.
yeah, he ends up giving in. So that's like kind of goofy in a way. But I'll say like but like pretty much the main people. But again, like I agree with you. Like Law's like I think he kind of falls under a certain banner. Where I would say like Law is more like they just had like how can I put it? Like to me personally, I feel like Law was just happened to be given the will of D. What up?
You know what? You might be right.
Like Oda
Maybe,
was like, okay, we need to at least throw another will of D member here. All right, fine. People like Law. Let's make Law a will of D member.
but you know what? I think it only made sense at the point in time because he was sorry, he was going against Doflamingo.
Exactly.
So, I he was well. Spoiler: we all know Doflamingo was one of the celestial dragons, or
Yep.
he was a celestial dragon. So, and everybody with the will of D always goes against the world government or the authority of the world government, basically. So I don't know.
Honestly,
I think it might be
yeah.
convenient for Law, maybe.
We should discuss that a little bit deeper. Make a video of it, just like is Law truly a member of the Will of D, even though he has the name. But anyway, back on this. So yeah, we finally so Nami's talking to Zoro and Luffy about the One Piece world, and we see a red explosion happen right here, and then so Nami and Zoro catch eye of it, and Luffy says, "Oh, this smoke smells a little weird," but it turned out to be knockout gas, and Luffy, being the smart thinker that he is, he glizzy globbles the Grand Line map
You did
here.
not just say that.
Yeah, I did. He gives like look at it, he's just looking at it. He's like, well, down a hatch.
All right.
And but he's doing it to protect the Grand Line map because he realized, oh, that's not because he looks at the window and he says, oh, that's not the Navy. That's some pirates there. And then we flash forward a few scenes, and Nami, Zoro, and Luffy wake up in a box. And Zoro realizes his swords is gone. Nami realizes his her navigation stuff is gone.
Uh-huh.
And you better like it. But yeah, you better like the One Piece live action. It's so good. That's why we're here talking about it.
Oh my gosh.
And but Luffy is happy that his hat is still with him. And which also highlights again how important that straw hat is to Luffy. Which I think they're doing a good job of it, making sure like they're really hammering in not really pay attention to the straw hat, but this straw hat does have some major significance in the whole grand scheme of things,
Right.
which I'm liking. And so let's see here. Yep, they wake up in a box, and we get a shot of Buggy's so cool. I ain't gonna say spoiler, but the pirates who kidnapped them and trapped them in the box is the Buggy pirates, and we kind of get a look to how the Buggy pirates is ran, and I ain't gonna lie, you know what type of vibe this kind of gives off to me?
What?
Remember from Danny Phantom that circus episode?
Are you talking about why do I want to call him Control Freak? My God.
Yeah, that's Teen Titans.
I know, but that's what his face gives off. No, his name is Freak. Like, it's something. It has something to do with the name Freak. I don't know what it is.
Nah. Wait.
Circus Freak?
Episode.
No.
I think his name is Freak Show. Yeah,
Freak
you was right. His
Show.
name is Freak Show.
I knew what I was talking about.
There you go. Yeah, look at you, B. I'm so happy for you.
Oh my god, patronizing me.
Then the name of the episode was Control Freaks. So no, you was
Ah,
right.
okay, there we go.
Oh, you was like B. Look at you on a roll, man. Oh man. You know what? We gotta find a bar that has a trivia night for old cartoons.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot of those actually.
I was trying to find a scene that maybe shows like the Control Freaks, well, the Freak Show episode, like the Inside the Circus. But that's the closest I can get here. But yeah, it kind of remind me of that a little bit, which I thought was pretty cool. Where it's like a kind of like a crazy ass carnival, like circus.
Yeah, that's what. But you come to realize their whole audience is like captive though.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of laughed at the scenes where what's the dude's name? Hold on, the Buggy Pirates.
Which one? The one that's on the unicycle, the one that is a tamer.
The one that's the tamer.
Oh, I forgot his name. He was never important to me.
Oh, I'm about to pull up his name right now. Mochi is his name.
Ah, okay. Was his okay? I'm trying to remember the episode properly, but I think I'm not remembering right. Was Mochi's lion ever there in the episode?
No, because they made a joke to it. Remember when Buggy was like, "Where's my dancing lion?"
Yeah, that's what. Okay, that's what I remember. I was like, okay, so that means they have the lion. Did the lion say "F Buggy" and nah?
I don't. He just didn't show up.
Because you know in the anime that lion has a lot of personality of his own.
Agreed, but I kind of get why they didn't want to put the lion in there. Because, and there's one probably just to save budget too, but the lion doesn't really play enough significance in the series to really actually be there.
I think it played not in the series, but to the Buggy Pirates, it does. Like he does. Like when Buggy was when they lost Buggy for like a week or so. I don't know how like a month or I don't know how long they lost Buggy for. And Buggy was like lost, trapped on the island.
True.
That lion was literally. Actually, no. That lion was about to be the leader. He literally dreamt to be the leader of the Buggy Pirates, of all of them worshiping him and everything.
But Buggy's the GOAT. He can't control. Like he can't run the Buggy Pirates. It has to be Buggy. Buggy's the GOAT. He's the Will of Demon. He's the fourth Emperor of the Sea.
I understand. That's so weird, but I understand that. But that lion had everything. He had his dream too.
You're right.
Although all he wanted was meat. He was basically another Luffy.
I mean, they could have still put the lion in there. Maybe like get like a real life lion and like a lion tamer and just like have him just kind of stand in the background or something.
Yeah, he could have done that.
Shadow said, you know, that's a W for Choo Choo because now that lion's not there, which is facts. And yeah, so the reason I found this particular scene funny is because you actually see Mochi here holding up a sign that says applause. And then you just see the whole crowd go like, yeah. Because you can tell they don't want to be there, but at the same time, it's like, you can tell they made that for laughs. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. And we finally see Buggy come out in all his amazing glory of Buggy D Clown. And honestly, his whole costume looks great. I will say one thing though, but this is just from out the SBS. But apparently, so you know those blue ribbons that's coming out of Buggy's hat?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay, I thought you hung up on me. I would have got sad.
Oh no, I said yeah. I guess you just didn't hear me.
Oh, where? So but you know those blue ribbons that come out of Buggy's head?
Yeah.
In SBS, Order actually came out and said that's actually Buggy's hair.
Oh, but that. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that's fine. It just seems kind of weird for him to have that long of hair. You know what I mean?
Well, he always had long hair.
I know he had long hair, but okay, never mind. I thought it was shorter than. In my head, I'm picturing his hair being shorter than that.
No, he always had long hair. So,
So he has
but
pigtails.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, Buggy always had pigtails this whole time. And what else was we about to say? So Buggy's upset because nothing in his circus is coming together. And Luffy's like, "Oh, I know you, and you're bougie, right, or bogey?" He said, "It's Buggy." And was it Luffy says, "Yeah, everybody knows who you are," and the iconic nose. Are you making fun of my nose? And then Luffy's like, I mean, I wasn't, but hey, is that thing real?" Which is a little bit of a, not, I ain't gonna say foreshadowing. What's it called? A little nod to the community where it's like, is this Buggy's real nose? So
Uh,
B, I'm gonna ask you, is this Buggy's real nose?
I'm gonna be honest. I could not even tell you. They
I
made
mean,
it.
he had it
They
since
they
he had it
really.
since he was a kid.
Uh-huh. But they made. I'll be honest. If it's Buggy's real nose, they did a really good job on how they made it look because it looks like a swollen nose.
It does.
Like I didn't know how they were going to do that. Like, it wasn't just going to be like something put on a nose and it's going to like just be like a buggy ball on his nose, or they made it look like the biggest bee in the world stung him, and that's what he was stuck with for the rest of his life.
But you know what though? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with him having this nose. So we're gonna say that's the head cannon. B. We're gonna say that's our head cannon. He got stung by a big ass bee. And so yeah, Buggy gets mad because they're talking about his nose. All the crowd cracks me up in this episode because they was gasping and they was like, "Ah!" So you don't talk about his nose. I was cracking up at that. The crowd is hands down my favorite cast members in this whole episode. And was it? Did we get to the part where Buggy doesn't talk about Shanks just yet? He just talks about how Captain Morgan stole his map, and then now he wants to get it back.
Yeah.
Ooh, someone said Buggy could be hat. No, oh no, that could explain it. That would be a good theory there. Actually, no, I read that theory somewhere. So Shadow says that Buggy could be half fishman, and so he'd be like a clownfish. And you know how old it'd be like always making jokes in some way, whereas like because Buggy's a clown and he could be half fishman, he'll be half clownfish,
But
and so that's why
don't
he looks like a clown.
but don't all fish men have to have some type of fish attribute, like a gill, a web, like something, a fin, like even if it's something small. Like
Uh, he could have sharp teeth because what's that dude's name from the Doflamingo Pirates?
dude from Doflamingo Pirates, which one?
Like he's like half fishman.
From the Doflamingo Derringer? No. Ooh,
Yeah, Derringer
the high
with
heel?
the yeah, because he's half fishman, isn't he?
I don't. I didn't think he was. Oh wait, he has that fin on his back. But I don't think he was a fish man. Is he?
I thought he was half fishman.
No, 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 no. Okay, I'm questioning myself so hard.
Yeah, because it just says he's from North Blue.
Uh, he has horns. I don't know if that fit on his back is real or not. His half fight fish. He. Oh,
Is he a fishman? I think.
Shadow in
Well,
the chat says he's half
cause
fight fish.
I know, Jack from the Beast Pirates, he's half fishman. So actually, I think he's a better example.
Jack from Beast Pirates.
He's half fishman, but the only
What
thing that you can tell that is fishman on him is when
is?
he takes his mask off, he has the sharp teeth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So maybe that can be Buggy's way of like his nose, which that's actually shout out to Shadow for that one. So which means like Buggy's nose can be like the representation of the clownfish in him. And so again, that's why he has like the clown theme going because clownfish, but you know how Oda likes his puns and all that. And
Okay,
then that can trace back to why Buggy was a good swimmer.
I was just about to ask that. So is that supposed to be why he's supposed to be a good swimmer when he was younger?
Yeah,
But then,
because Jack has a devil fruit, and even though he's a fishman, he can still survive underwater. He just can't move. We never really necessarily seen Buggy in that situation of drowning like that anyway.
huh?
Shout out to you, Shadow. I mean, I seen that theory float around so often, but yeah, let's get back to it here.
Okay.
So, Nami is now trying to struck a deal with Buggy to try and escape, which I ain't gonna lie, I was a little upset. Not a little, but I was like, this bitch here. Where she was like, "Here, here. If you let me go, I'm gonna give you a real freak." And she snatches all Luffy's hat, throws it in the air, and then Luffy stretches to get it. And Nami runs outside, and she sees this town, she sees the town that they're in, and it's completely destroyed by Buggy. And Buggy was like, "Hey, it was they owe me money pretty much. Is that how you put it? He owed me money."
Uh, I think so. I'm not gonna remember that one line.
Yeah, we're just gonna walk right past that one there. And then so we cut over now to back to the military base in Shellstown. Was it 153? And we see Garp and Bogart talking to Axehand Morgan about the situation that happened. And that's when we finally see Kobe in his little Boy Scout uniform in the Navy uniform, along with Helmeppo in his too. And then we kind of see a best way to put it here, like how I ain't gonna say I don't really want to say that word, but how much of a jerk he is to Helmeppo, where he calls Helmeppo his useless son. And Garp is starting to kind of question Morgan's actions on how he runs this branch here, because you could just tell by his face, just like, I don't like the way you said that about your own kid.
Uh,
And then we go right back to the well, no, and then Garp asks Kobe why does he want to be a Marine, and Kobe pretty much tells him it's because I want to protect people, pretty much. And then we go back to the buggy tent. So like it was a nice little cutaway, some side story action with Kobe, which I started to like that they're doing with in a live action here, because you know in even in the anime, basically like even though Oda never really comes out and tells us, but essentially Kobe is just like Luffy, and Luffy joined the Marines in a way. And
Yeah,
and I'm liking how in the live action we're kind of getting that sub B plot there, where it's like you see Luffy with his adventures, but then you also see Kobe going on his adventures here. So I hope they continue that
I
in the
think
live action because I'm actually
that's
really liking Kobe. Kobe's dope.
that's what I figured they were doing. I at first I figured they were just following Garp and showing what like everything that he technically has done since Luffy ever left the village.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, so this is so we don't get you like in the anime, you don't get to see much of what Garp does until um
Much later on.
yeah, like not until what until he goes and recruits Kobe and Hamepo. Like you don't
Wait,
see anything of them.
wait, B, is your audio not coming in?
What?
I'd be kind of upset if your audio didn't come in this whole time. All right, there. So I think it's finally working again. All right, so you know what this means then. We're still gonna continue, of course. We're not gonna just restart from the whole thing because it's kind of stupid. But on our personal end, both Brendan and I, we're probably gonna have to re-record the whole thing so we can post it out on the YouTube's channel.
You know what? I can
Mm.
probably
Oh, because you were streaming it too, right?
yeah, but I'm not actually recording it. I can take the VOD, download it, and I can send it your way.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Thank you. So we'll just
And
do it that way because I finally got it working. And Sade says hi.
oh, hey, Sade. uh,
Yami Sama.
wow.
All
um, yeah. Let me mark where the audio where you realized it at.
right.
That way, I can also tell you when I send it to you. It was like 105.
Sade, let me figure this out. Hold on, hold on. Because I'm going to call you something that I know you'll be happy with.
Yummy. All right, gotta remember that one.
All right, Sade, look at the screen here. Wait, hold on. Fix this. There we go. Sade, call yourself this. If you get the reference, I'll cash app you $2.
What are you holding up?
So you know in Kingdom Hearts, right? With
I,
like the whole, if you join the organization 13, you put an X
oh
in the
my
middle of the
god, I
name.
got it already. I already got it already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I realized it says I am X Yay.
that's why. That's why I was looking. I was like, is that supposed to be a name?
It says I am X. Oh, Shadi says, what does it say?
I feel like there has to be a different name than that.
It has to be. We'll figure it out. So where we leave off at? Hold on, let me pull up my page here. Oh yeah, so we was discussing how we like the fact that Kobe's story is kind of like the B plot to everything,
Right.
which I really do like. It's because again, like how we was discussing how like pretty much Kobe is the parallel to Luffy. So I like the fact that instead of just getting few glimpses of how Kobe's adventures is going on, and we're just strictly just staying with the crew the whole time. I like the fact that we can take breaks from the crew here and there to go see what Kobe and them is up to. So I like that. I like that.
It's like a B side to the story.
And then we finally So we cut back to Zoro and Nami being chained up in the back, and they are talking to what's bro's name here? Buggy Pirates. There we go. As well, I what? Because I always butcher his name. Dude,
It's
dude on the unicycle. Kabaji, that's his name. Because I knew his name, I just didn't want to mess it up because I always call him Kabaji. But I
come
know
on,
it's Kabaji. So we
come on.
finally see Kabaji here riding around his freaking unicycle. And I ain't gonna lie, this is probably the one thing I don't like about the episode, but it's just because, like, why he gotta whisper in Zoro's ear like that? Just like, do you know who I am? I've been hunting you down for years. And I'm
Yeah,
like, bro, what? You know, like, just talk normal.
that is so creepy. That's sus. That's way too sus.
It is. He pretty much kind of gives Zoro the backstory of how, like, because Zoro's epithet is the Pirate Hunter Zoro, why he's been hunting down Kabaji and his brother all throughout the Gold Kingdom. He chopped off Kabaji's head to collect a bounty for it. And Kabaji, well, see, there it is. Kabaji wants to get revenge, but he literally gets revenge on Zoro in the dumbest way. So those torture games where it's like you tie the person up and you gotta spin the wheel while they're on it and you chuck knives at them to kind of build up the suspense of killing them. But it's like it's so the way how they did it in the One Piece live action was they had
I'm tired.
like no so like it's like the most generic thing possible. Is like anytime you see it in movies, like that particular like tied up to the pole, not tied up to the pole, but tied up to the spinning wheel and then chucking the knives. But it's like the most generic way possible, where it's like the person keeps chucking the knives, but they always somehow hit where the ropes are tied at. And I'm like, bro, come on, this is supposed to be your thing. How are you purposely missing?
That's what I thought. I was like, okay, he's supposed to be taking revenge on him, but is he purposely missing? Like, you do this for, it looks like you do this for your job. You're a circus performer. So I'm like, all right, so you're a professional knife thrower. That's what you do, and you ride around a unicycle as you do it. So you're not hitting Zoro on purpose, or is this like supposed to? You're only supposed to be scaring him. Like I didn't know if he was actually trying to kill him or just trying to scare him or what.
Maybe he was trying to scare him, but
But you are right. Yeah, you are right.
and
That
I
whole knife on the rope cliche.
it is very cliche because it's like the minute I saw that scene happening, I was like, I immediately knew how Zoro was going to get out. He's going to use one of the knives to cut the rope down. I just knew it. And no, Buggy didn't give Zoro his scar on his back in the live action. And but then Nami finds that she still has one of her lockpicks here, and she says a pretty cool line when Kabaji leaves, and Zoro's like, "Hold on, you got a lockpick?" She was like, "Well, I had four. They only found three." And my biggest my biggest question is, where was that fourth one at?
We're not going to question it.
I,
We all know. We all know where it probably was, but we're not going to question it.
that's where I'm trying to be.
Oh my god!
So,
Slide them DMs.
oh, I'm about to. So then we hear a scream, and it turns out to be Luffy screaming, but then the shot cuts over to actually Luffy laughing. And Buggy's doing one of those guarantee what's those, like, one of those torture machines where you gotta stretch the body out. So he's doing that, and then it's not working because Luffy is a rubber. And so Luffy's just laughing, just like, yo, I could just do this all day. And then we kind of get some more character development from Buggy here, where Buggy's trying to figure out so you want to be Pirate King, but what's the reason behind you wanting to be Pirate King? And he was like, well, is it a lover? Is it something you trying to find? And he realized that Luffy has on a straw hat, and he realized, hold on, I know someone with this straw hat. And we get some backstory with Buggy, not like a full on flashback, but it still stays in present day. And Buggy says, oh, me and Shanks used to serve on the same crew, which I do like the fact they tell us early that Shanks and Buggy have that type of relationship going on versus waiting till Marineford to find out. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like they never really told us that they served directly under Roger's crew, but they just all he said was that they served under the same crew, and he's mad at Shanks for not going after the treasure. But what was he mad at Shanks for? Because in the live action is a bit different. Because in the actual manga anime, he's mad at Shanks because he lost Captain John's treasure map. But he's mad at Shanks in this one because he like backstabs him in some way.
Uh, uh, yeah, that's how he always says it. He says that Shanks backstabs them or betrays him or whatever because he made him eat the fruit, which made him lose his ability to swim, which also made him lose the treasure because he had to go down to die for it.
That's right. But then, well, no spoilers, because I feel like they're gonna show us that in season two, exactly how like Buggy got his powers. Because the way how I'm picturing it, because we know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
The way how I seen it is like, like in cartoons where it's like the character that's given the sad backstory, and then when it like flashes back to the backstory, it's something really stupid that was actually their doing. I feel like it should have like that's how I'm picturing it. Just like he backstabbed me long ago, and then you hear like,
Yeah,
and then,
exactly.
and then that's just how I pictured it.
That's exactly how it was. Like I'm trying to think, how do you get backstabbed into eating a fruit?
I don't know, but we
I,
know exactly how he ate the fruit.
yeah, but
But
he was trying to hide it, wasn't he?
yeah,
So it was all his fault. There's no way around it.
exactly. And so Buggy snatches the head, and then we find out that one of Luffy's main purposes of trying to find the One Piece is to prove to Shanks that he's going to be a great pirate, which is true. And I did like the way how Buggy came to that conclusion, where it's like, oh, is it a lover? Is it you trying to do something else? Oh wait, I know someone with this straw hat. Oh, you trying to impress Shanks. And I kind of like the way how that kind of got revealed versus Luffy actually just trying to tell him. It's Buggy kind of pieces everything together. So then Luffy breaks out, and we see he's about to hit Buggy, and then we finally get Buggy's devil fruit reveal, and where he knocks off Buggy's head, and Buggy's head lands into the crowd, and Buggy was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm also a devil fruit user too," and he has the chop fruit, and the chop fruit essentially gives Buggy the ability to separate his body parts. And this is what the chop fruit looks like. And it gives Buggy the ability to separate his body parts, which I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of a broken ability in a way where I'm like, okay, this guy could literally legit just separate his body at will with no problem, and then he can what's it called? He can move it wherever he want. It can go as far as way as wherever he want, as long as his head's not smashed in. And I feel like they're not going to really explain this, but as long as his feet is still firmly on the ground, he can move his body parts wherever he goes, like wherever he wants it.
I
Do
don't
you,
think they're going to reveal that just yet because if they were going to reveal it, it would have been when uh, they locked up his different body parts. Remember?
mm-hmm.
I think that's how they figured it out because he was constantly running with his body parts to make sure that his feet, yeah, his feet was running with it, like underneath his body parts to make sure, like they were the center of everything, like the eye of the
Yeah.
storm.
Yep.
So if they do explain it later, sorry, it'll have to be in like the next major battle against Bucky, which would probably be in Logtown if they do it.
Yeah, because in the episode we see them separate Buggy's body parts, and I was like, when I was first watching it, I was like, hold on, isn't why isn't like his body parts like kind of like scattered across the East Blue? But doesn't that happen after Lockdown? With
Mm,
like Buggy's side adventures when he trying to find all his body parts again,
yeah, that's after Logtown.
and then
That's
go
that's
ahead.
also when you meet that little dude trapped in a chest.
That's right. Gaimon or Gaimon is his name.
Yeah.
The little green afro dude. That was funny.
Uh-huh.
And then Buggy, I ain't gonna lie, he does like the coldest attack in this where he says I got eyes and ears everywhere. And he's like, I'm gonna do a little trick, and then he uses his hand, taps on Luffy's shoulders, and he released one of those knockout gas. And I was like, all right, that was kind of cold.
Yep. When knockout gas, is that supposed to sorry, is that supposed to be his buggy balls or
Yeah, but
oh,
I think they're just gonna call every last one of them Buggy Balls, even though they can each do different things.
okay, because I was like, okay, the buggy ball is supposed to be the explosive one, right?
Yeah,
So why did I was like, okay, that's supposed to be his buggy ball, and it looks like a buggy ball. He crushed it, and it, like powder, the same powder and everything, the sleeping powder came out. I was like, all right, what do you call that if it's not a buggy ball?
so I think I think this is a situation where you're not really supposed to think too much into it because it's almost like Joker toxin in a way. Well,
Uh,
like even though they call it Joker toxin or Joker gas, it's almost all the same thing.
uh,
Because that's how I always picture Buggy. I picture Buggy as just like one piece version of the Joker.
you, you actually are right about that one.
And then so yeah, and then yeah, because we actually talked about that where Kabaji talks to Zoro about his past because that actually we went over that a little too early. And then so we cut over to Garp again and Kobe B plot now. And yeah, oh yeah, we already talked about that too, where Garp asks Kobe why does he want to be a Marine and all that, but he also questions like, so why you were working with the pirates, and Kobe just flats out like tells him, well, I don't know if the Marines will let me enlist if I tell them I was working with pirates, but Luffy's not a bad guy. He's the one who actually told me to go along with my dreams of being a great Marine after he saved me from my Vita's crew. And because I've watched like we watched the whole series already and we're pretty much just rewatching it for the reviews here, uh I noticed this one little thing here. It seems like Garp is proud of what Luffy is doing in a way.
That's what I also thought too. Right? Or yeah, that's what I thought too. Like after after he met Kobe
Mm.
and he dealt with Axeham Morgan, I assumed that after chasing Luffy down and throwing the cannonballs at his ship or whatever,
Mm.
I figured that he would figure like how can I explain this? He was seeing everything that Luffy was doing as he was like chasing after him.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, I'm proud that like of course he's my grandson. I expect this of him. Like even though he's a pirate, he was still doing like
What
good things.
Marines do. Like what Marines are
Yeah,
supposed to do.
yeah, exactly. So I expect this of him, but he's still a pirate, so we gotta fix that.
Exactly. And I like that because and this is just for me though, but it's like when I first saw this and I didn't realize like I thought like why are they making Garp such a jerk like that? But I still kept with it because I was like, nah, because I feel like they're telling something like some underlying meaning. And then when we finally like get the reveal of Garp's laugh, I'm like, okay. Which happens in like what in episode 4? We finally no episode 3. We finally get to see Garp's laughing. That's where I was like, okay, he's proud of Luffy, just not proud that he's a pirate, but he's proud of what he's doing overall though.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then so we go back and we actually have another flashback here. And this is actually when Luffy gets the straw hat from what I'm seeing. No. This is when Shanks and them finally fights the mountain bandits. And then, pretty much he tells the mountain bandits like if you not ready like you're not ready for this fight, if you're willing to draw a gun, make sure you use it. And we, get the iconic scene of Ben Beckman shooting down the mountain bandits. And then we finally get to see B, which I thought was pretty cool.
Bro.
B, we all know this is you. So everybody don't know if you guys don't know who B is what he looks like. This is him. And then so we get to see Yasopp. So we get Yasopp, Ben Beckman. What's the fat dude's name? Dang, I'm really drawing a blank on everything all of a sudden today.
It's a weird name. I can never remember it.
Red hair pirate. Here we go. I'm just gonna bring these up. Lucky Roo. So we get Lucky Roo, Yasopp, and Ben Beckman all fighting with Shanks here. Yup, is Lucky Roo. And Shank, I ain't gonna lie, my favorite scene is with Yasopp where one of the mountain bandits he holds down Lucky Roo. And yes, I was like, well, I can't get a clear shot from a straight like angle. So he kind of like, there's a pole next to me. So he shoots the pole and the bullet bounces off the pole and hits the mountain bandit. I was like, hey yo, that even though I said Buggy's hand scene was kind of cold, this scene was even colder. I was like, ain't no way. That kind of solidifies that. Yes, the whole Red Hair Pirates is a crew you don't want to mess around with, but I think it also shows what they're each capable of. Whereas like you got Yasopp with the guns, you got Lucky Rouge literally coming out of nowhere and shooting down the mountain bandits, which I'm like, even like in the SBS that's been came out that Lucky Rouge is actually one of the fastest people in the verse. You got Shanks, who we figure out like we see one other thing a little later on, and then we got Ben Thickman over here, doing Ben Thickman stuff because he's fat. Well, he's fighting with the with the what's that with a gun, which he's known to do every so often. So, what do you think of this scene, B?
I think the scene is actually pretty dope. The fact that you see what they're all sort of capable of doing because they did it all naturally. Like, oh, you want to mess with us? Fine, we can do this right here, right now, and we won't break a sweat. And they showed that they didn't break a sweat.
Nope. They handle that like real pirates.
Exactly.
And then so now we flash back to the Puggy tent, and Luffy is trapped in a container with water pouring in on him, and he looks a little weak. And this goes back to what I was saying at the very beginning here when I said that Makino kind of tells Luffy lore about the devil fruits, and she also says that the every devil fruit user has a weakness to Mother Ocean because mother like devil fruits are mystical items that the sea god does not support because it's not technically supposed to be what nature intended to be. And so in order to kind of combat the devil fruits, the sea goddess, what she did was anytime a devil fruit user is submerged in water as a whole, because I think that was a little bit of a mistake there, where in Buggy's case they said it's supposed to be seawater, but it's actually supposed to be just water in general or some like yeah, just as long as it's some type of liquid ass thing or water, as long as they're submerged in it, they lose their abilities whatsoever. And we see Luffy's kind of weakened because of the seawater that's pouring into the box, and he's drowning here. And then Luffy and like not Luffy, it kind of like Luffy has another flashback because there was a lot of flashbacks in this one. So there's flashbacks to what's the mountain bandit's name? Because he's such a minor character.
It's something stupid too. I'm not gonna remember it.
Hyugama, that's his name. So Hyugama kidnapped Luffy and holds him on the boat, and Luffy says like, "Yo, when Shanks find out, he's gonna come get you." And Hyugama's like, "Well, he has to come out to sea to get me." And we finally get to see the Lord of the Coast, which is also a Sea King. See if I can get a good. I'm just gonna pull him up here.
Well, I said you can find him in the trailer.
Yeah, instead of just trying to screenshot it.
Uh-huh.
So we finally get to see the Sea King, which is here. Honestly, the trailer CG, the trailer CGI is actually compared because I'm comparing the two. It actually looks a lot better in the actual series itself. But we finally get to see the Sea King attack, eat Higuma, and takes a munch out of Saint's arm, which we find out after because Luffy pointed it out. But then we finally get to see Conqueror's Haki. So, B, I want to ask you this. How did you feel about that scene?
I thought it was okay. First, let me say this about the Mountain Bandit. I was kind of hoping to see that, like in the anime, literally how it chomped the Mountain Bandit and his boat all in one like bite.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping to see that, but it was what it kind of did was just threw him out, like destroyed the boat and started, it pulled him down. I was really hoping for the big chomp, like how they do in like what's the movie, like the Meg or whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I just saw what you pulled up.
I was like, I'm kind of glad we didn't see what was happening underwater.
Exactly. Anyway, now to Shanks getting his arm chopped off, I think it was pretty fine. It was pretty okay. Like it was natural, and like Shanks, he didn't show any too much emotion about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally just it was seamless. Yeah, I think he did like give out some type of like grunt or something,
Mm-hmm.
but that was it. And then you see the Conqueror's Haki telling it to get lost.
Oh,
Now, with the Conquerors hockey, I thought like I was like, okay, it's okay, but it seemed like I guess it's supposed to be for dramatic effect, but it seemed like it was like a long build up to do it and try to like focus it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I saw how the only way they could like display it was just a weird little air ripple, like from his eye, just one little ripple. That's it. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind it, but also I feel like there should be a different effect for I don't know, some type of I don't know, like some type of zoom in, like there was a zoom into the eye, but like blur everything else, like make
Mm-hmm.
like a I'm starting to stutter. My God, a like a time lapse effect or something. If you understand what I mean, I know I'm not explaining myself very well.
I think I'm getting it.
So you know how for the manga it would show it as like lines going in as like as it's zooming into his eye.
Mm-hmm.
So think of that like how you see how you see
So kind of like this. So like that in a way.
yeah,
Cause
almost like that, just with like some type of intensity, like cropping around his eye, like you know what I mean, something to show more intensity to it. That's why I felt like it probably needed for me.
so cause like I think I pulled up the picture of Get Lost, but let me do this because I'm gonna make a comparison. So we got that, but then we get this here, and I'm bringing up both like both the manga panel and this,
Mm-hmm.
where we get the close up of his eye, but at the same time comparing it to the manga panel. Well, the anime mainly is what I have up.
Yeah.
I think me per not one we already. I think it's one we already know. We as the fans know the like we know what Conqueror's hockey is, so we know for a fact like what he did, and I think this is one of my like biggest fears is how hockey's going to transpire into live action when it gets there.
I'm wondering how they're going to do Luffy's hockey.
Exactly. Whereas like with Conqueror hockey, like I get why they had to do it because even in the manga and when the anime at the time too, Oda didn't know how he was going to handle the power system, so hockey wasn't even a thing yet. I mean, we now know Shanks used Conqueror's hockey on the Lord of the Coast, but again, this is a nice one-to-one shot from the original panel. Let me pull up the original panel. Hmm. Exactly. So Shadow said it perfectly. He said it's good enough to drive interest into new
Man,
fans. Yeah, agreed. But he said he would like it more if they used the scarred eye versus the regular eye. Like if
that's
they
perfect.
used, yeah,
Yeah,
if they used the scarred eye, that really like okay.
that would have gave it more intensity. That I feel like that would have helped me more.
Because he used it. They showed it was the scarred eye that they showed in the original, right?
And that's what I'm thinking. That's what I thought it was.
Where they used the basic one here. But again, like
Actually,
I
they should use the scarred eye because that it was he looked back at the at the sea beast with at the on the side where his arm was missing.
And isn't that the
It has to be the
eyesight?
left side. Yeah, it's the left eye where his scar, the left side where his scar is.
But
Yeah. Mm.
No, I did not watch Opera Hammer. It looks good though. I need to watch it, but no. So, and yeah, 60,000. Yeah, make sure you hit that follow button, dog. You know what I'm saying? It'll help a brother out. So yeah, we get Shanks finally using Conqueror's Hockey. Already talked about that of like Luffy and Nami and Zoro getting free, but they finally catch up to like so Nami and Zoro escape Kabaji. They free Luffy from the little container that he was in, and Luffy coughs up the uh the Grand Line map, and he's like, bleh. And he couldn't handle the deep throat, man. You know what I'm saying? And so Buggy's excited because he's like, holy crap, my map. So he reaches for the map. The gang is about to fight Buggy, and then Buggy's really showcasing his powers here, which I thought was really dope. And I really liked the lighting, and it really, this part here, let me pull this up because it really highlights that how much power Buggy truly has, and this is why he's the GOAT. So Zoro goes to chop Buggy's head off, and Buggy just like pops his head off saying nope. So it kind of confirms that Buggy's stronger than Mihawk. Just throwing it out there.
That's what Buggy's supposed to do in front of Mihawk as well, too.
Exactly. Like, but and then I should have never cropped it here because it's Nami in the background. She's just like, so what's my next line? But I'm sorry. But yeah, so we get that part there. And then they're all about to fight Buggy. And then that's when Luffy comes up with the idea of, all right, we need to separate his body parts to actually do something. So Zoro and Luffy are knocking around the body parts. I'm just kind of speed blitzing this point here because I want to get to the game now. And plus this is all just kind of like fight scenes, really. And so Nami is lifting up all the boxes while Zoro and Luffy are knocking the boxes in, and they defeat Buggy now. And now the iconic scene of Buggy just being a hand, and 2 feet has officially came up, and we get this amazing scene here. Hold on. Here we go. Nope. Perfect. And I'm bringing up both the manga panel and this scene here. It's a perfect 1-to-1.
Yep. That's all.
Say again?
I kind of wish he had his cape, and that's all.
If he had his cape, it would be too overpowered. And I would say overall with this episode, I felt like they did a good job with Buggy. Like, they introduced him as like a really, really threatening person that has a pretty decent devil fruit. But at the same time, they also captured how goofy Buggy is too, which I was like, good job. Episode 2, good job. I love it. What you think of it?
Episode 2 was, yeah, I think they did a good job too, especially with expelling Buggy, like with Bazooka.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how that was gonna look.
I know.
I was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
how was the budget going to be sending CGI stretchy arms away? Like, see, having CGI stretchy arms blast away CGI, just a head, feet, and hands. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. But they, and I think the way how they fixed it was with the lighting in the background to kind of cast a more front facing shadow towards us, so it really hides some of the editing that they had to do for it. But it made it look so good, and I love it. I would say I was a little worried about that scene, just a little bit, but I had confidence that they was gonna pull it off.
Okay. Yeah. But overall, it was definitely a good episode.
Amazing episode. And then we end off with the crew setting the town free, letting them go, and then we cut to them on the sea, and Nami sneaks off and she pulls out some snail pods, which I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need some snail pods. And she calls up a certain somebody, which we found out a little later on, saying like, "Hey, I got the map." So we already know who it is. She's calling up Arlong's crew because she's going to betray them, but that's kind of obvious there. But that's how it ended off. So I would say out of 10, I would give this episode an 8.5. What would you give it?
I would say I'll go with the 8.
8.
Yeah, just the 8.
8.
A solid.
So in the chat, I want y'all to give me your rating for this episode 2 of One Piece live action. Title is The Man in the Straw Hat. And what would you guys give this episode out of 10? I give it an 8.5. B gives it a 8 out of 10. What would you guys give it? And cool. You ready to play the game?
Yeah. Let me switch my stuff over.
Yep. Shadow said he loved Buggy's performance. Buggy's performance was really good in this.
Actually, yeah, it was. I didn't know if it was going to be like if the actor was going to be like more comical or okay. Like I was wondering if it was going to be more like a Joker type of Buggy.
Yep. Which at first that's what they showcased, but then we got regular Buggy, which I'm happy with. Shadow says, I had a 10 out of 10 until something later happens, so he's okay with just saying a 9 out of 10. I agree with that. And I think I know what episode you're talking about, but we get there when we get there. And then let me pull
my lord. Oh. What? Oh, well, you need to address the village about everything that's going on. All right. Hand me my drip. Here you are, my lord. Thank you. Lord 17, where did you get that? Oh, I got this from Kage Cad. Oh, you never heard of it? Well, they sell really dope merch there. And if you're interested, definitely hit them up. Link to their website will be in the description and comment section down below.